And welcome to the latest episode of New Londinium, 1910. In the last episode, we prepared to start moving, I was going to say cultists. It's not just the cultists, but the entire population of Twin Spires. But this time we want to actually start moving them. But before we do that, I kind of want to make sure we make some progress on our storage solutions. So I'm going to go out here and we got some dark oak trees ready to go. So we'll cut those down and create some storage drawers. Then we'll go kidnap some people and move them to a new village. And then if there's any time left, then we will continue working on the estate here. I'd like to add the dormers to the roof and then finish the attic area. That's one thing that needs to happen. The garden needs a lot of work, not just the gardening side, but expansion, moving stuff around. On the other side of the house, we have the area where we will have our livestock and the windmill, and currently there's some big holes in the ground there, so we'll need to fill that in and prepare that space. So there's quite a bit to do, there's a lot more to do than that too, but that's the stuff on my immediate agenda. So there's plenty to keep me busy and off the streets and out of trouble. Out of trouble on the streets. I'll be in plenty of trouble here, but that's just how these things work. So thank you for joining me. If you've noticed, if you're a channel member, you notice that the preview copies of videos have been coming out pretty fast and furious lately, and that's because for better or for worse, I have more free time than I used to. Today is my last day on my current contract, and except for turning in my computer, I don't have anything to do today. So unlike my normal operating mode, where I'm recording videos in the middle of the night after the family's gone to sleep, this is the morning. It's day. I'm actually fully wide awake. And I don't know how that's going to make an impact. We'll see. You tell me if you notice a difference. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Well, I'm not looking forward to not having a regular job, but I am looking forward to having some more free time. I mean, job hunting. So don't forget, I was unemployed for almost a year last time. That was a year ago. But so you get to a point where you're pretty much caught up on all the potential jobs you want to work at, and you've applied to them all, and now you just kind of wait and see. And I already have a head start on that. I already have a lot of applications, and I've written 50 applications since last Tuesday. So we're already getting to that point, and that means I'll have more time to devote to the channel. So where I want to go with that, which is kind of what I was starting to do until things started getting busy in my life, was I certainly want to keep the series going that I have. I don't need new series. I've got more than enough to juggle at the moment, but there are the in-between things, right? So the websites could use a lot of work. The interactive maps could use a lot of work. The gazetteer work. The gazetteers are basically documenting, location, what you can find in different locations, who the people are, blah, blah, blah. I'd like to do that, so I'll be working on that. Custom textures will resume. The custom trades for custom professions will resume. There's just a lot of great stuff that I've had a really hard time getting to lately. And now, like it or not, I won't have as many impediments to working on that stuff. So I'm actually looking forward to it, even though, like I said, I won't be drawing a paycheck, the channel's now monetized, and so working on the channel in a way is kind of working for me, right? Working on my own job. So who knows? Maybe this will be the opportunity I need to grow the channel to the point where I might be able to think about doing it full time on a permanent basis. So anyway. On top of that, the girls are out of school. They finished school last Tuesday as well. And, so right now I got one of them's house sitting for a lady she tutors. And the other one is going to go rock climbing. So that's good. But, the problem is it's summer. They don't have a lot to do. And I'm still the only driver in the household. So... Daddy Uber is what I call it, and but luckily I already dropped the one kid off the house sick for the day, and the other kid, one of their friends' moms coming to pick him up, so I'm free and clear. This is, except for turning in my computer at work this afternoon, this is it, baby. And I got to tell you. Being laid off last time and then being unemployed for a year, I felt terrible. I felt horrible, right? This time around, I feel good. I feel really good. And I guess part of it is because I feel like I have options, right? Not just options, but options I like. Specifically this option, the option I put together from scratch. So, playing computer games, and not just for the fun of it, but playing computer games and making some money, not a lot of money, but some money, that is kind of like my dream job. That's kind of like, that's what I wanted to do ever since I was a kid. And realistically, jobs that you get to do something fun, like like an amusement park ride tester or something like that. Those are crazy rare, right? That's probably even harder to get than winning the lottery. And so, because most of us, we have a job. We might even like the job, but it's not like you would still do that job if they didn't pay you, right? But that's what this is. This is, I don't really consider it a job. Like I've said before, when I started up this channel, it's like I'm just doing the stuff I would be doing anyway, even if I wasn't making videos. It's just that now the video aspect is in there, and I'm sharing it with you. But yep, that's how this works. So some other notes, right? So talking about the other series. In the past, I've talked about the momentum hump, and I had mentioned that I was past the momentum hump in my Minecraft Let's Plays, right? That's this one and From the Rubble and Greifenhorst. So, we're starting to rock and roll in those worlds, and I think it's going to get more interesting and detailed as we move on from here on out. In the other ones, we have mostly satisfactory, and I think I got past the momentum hump a few episodes ago, and so that's rocking and rolling. And in Vintage Story, I think we're past momentum hump because I've already started to reap some crops, and so I'm not in any danger of starving. I have shelter. At this point, it's a matter of bigger and better. And the last series, Raft, I think I'm past the momentum hump. And that game, the three big threats are starvation, dehydration, and the shark. And I think I'm not immune to those, but I'm certainly got myself to a point where those aren't blockers anymore, right? They are certainly systems I have to be aware of. But but I'm now ready to move on to bigger and better things. So on all 6 series, it's pretty exciting. And then I've been working on the next episode of the Create mod. That one's going to be about logistics. It's going to be talking about moving stuff from point A to point B, because as I said before, the Create mod, as a technology mod, it's very physical, right? And that includes a lot of moving stuff from point A to point B. So I think that's going to be a great episode. And now that, I mean, I was spinning this up after Create 6 came out, and Create 6 includes logistics networks, right? This is the packaging and distribution. And the more I delve into that, the more my jaw drops, because that is some really powerful and amazing stuff. But it is incredibly complex. So I think that video will be of particular value to a lot of folks, even some old Create mod veterans will have stuff to learn in there, unless they've already completely mastered the logistics networks. So keep your eyes open on that. And then I started dabbling with Cubic Odyssey, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, when it was released, there was still some very, very rough edges, and co-op was essentially unplayable. But they have been actively making updates really hard, and of course, you know, the program itself isn't well documented internally or externally, and the tutorial is really, really basic. So there's a learning curve, which I've been stepping through, and there was a couple points in learning curves I was a bit discouraged, but I think I passed like my momentum hump in that game too, and I'm really enjoying it. And the thing I tell people on that one is, if you stop and think about like what Minecraft was in the beta times, right? It was very, very basic, very, very little you could do with it. And look at what Minecraft has become, right? Well, to go back to Cubic Story, I kind of basically look at this as it's still in that basic beta mode. But even with that said, there's an incredible amount of depth there already. And so is it I don't think it's quite right for prime time, but it's like 95% of the way there, and then it just gets better with age as long as they keep adding to it, right? With basically the Hello Games No Man's Sky model, where we have a starting point, but then we'll just get bigger and better from there. So with that said, if you're interested in stuff like this, and presumably you are because you're watching this video, why don't you go out there and take a look at that? And that being said, also take a look at Raft. And I don't know if Mostly Satisfactory will appeal to everybody in this space, but take a look at that too. It's all good stuff. All good stuff. Now, we're not really close to finishing any of these series, but I now understand that there is a beginning, middle, and end to Raft. And I knew there was a beginning, middle, and end to Mostly Satisfactory. So I expect Raft would be the first series to actually finish. Not in any danger of doing that in the next day or two or month or maybe even year. But I'm thinking about, you know, the series to replace it with. And when I sent out a poll to you guys asking about the different types of game types you would be interested in, and there was pretty substantial interest in amusement park and zoo builders. So that is another one of my favorite genres, and I think when Raft finishes up, I will start a series on either Planet Coaster or Parkitect. I'm leaning toward Parkitect. But if you're hearing this and you have an opinion, why don't you post it in the comments? Let us know what it is. Let us know what you think about that. Especially I get thinking about theme parks every summer, right? Because it's theme park season. And I do love theme parks and amusement parks. All sorts of different flavors. I mean, I like the old-timey ones with, much lower key, smaller scale. And I like the big ones like, the Six Flags or something where you got, 15 roller coasters. Okay. The one thing I don't like is standing in line. Now, I've been standing in line since they invented them practically. But standing in line is not such a big deal anymore because you got your smartphone and you can sit there and play with your phone while you're in line. Of course, you're chewing through power like nobody's business. But a lot of people who do that have battery backups or whatever, and that has changed it. But then again, you stop and think about it, especially someplace like Disneyland. You're spending $100 a day because that's the ticket price to look at your phone. I mean, I can look at my phone at home for free. And that's the other thing too. Some of these amusement parks, and particularly the Disney parks, they're just being loved to death, right? Which is why they're able to charge $100 a day admission, because people will pay it. And their problem is way more people want to get into Disneyland and experience Magic Kingdom firsthand than they have capacity for. So it's a classic case of supply and demand. And that's unfortunate, because I always viewed Disneyland in particular to be a really positive influence in a number of different ways, right? I mean, it's one of the things that, like, as I was growing up and becoming an adult, the influence of Disney and Disneyland helped keep me young at heart, right? Instead of becoming a crusty old curmudgeon, that type of wonder and magic has helped keep me young, right? And I think more people could and should have access to that type of transformation. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Knott's Berry Farm is another great one for this. You go into Disneyland on Main Street, or you go to the ghost town of Knott's Berry Farm. And yeah, it's an amusement park. Yeah, it's not like the real thing, but it's enough like the real thing with just a little imagination. You can imagine like you've gone back in time, right? And you're in the Wild West, or you're in, turn of the 20th century America, right? And you could just kind of lose yourself. I love that. Especially because I've always been interested in history or whatever, and I've always been a bit of a dreamer and a story writer and storyteller. So being able to be in something like that and imagine yourself in that actual place, in the actual era, doing these actual things. I mean, that's one of the things I've always loved about the computer games. And as much as I love computer games, and like computer games allow you to go out into space and fight dragons, and as much as I love all that, it still can't compare to seeing, smelling, hearing, touching the real thing, right? So, yeah, and that's too bad, because like I said, it's in the case of Disney specifically, they're pricing themselves out to the point where it's only the elite, the rich and famous, are going to have the wherewithal to do that, and that's too bad, because I think if there's anybody that needs to be motivated, that needs to be encouraged, that needs to understand or be inspired by the magic and to go do something great and wonderful, it's not the rich people. It's, the people who probably can't afford the ticket. And, that's something actually that computers can help with, right? I mean, the being out in a park like that and experiencing it firsthand, like I said, that is the superior way to do it. But not everyone obviously can do that, and that's where computer games come in. Computer games can get you pretty close, right? I remember kind of going back to my love of theme parks, like I was talking about. When I first got out of the Air Force, and I was trying to make it in the civilian world, money was really, really tight. And even though Disney parks weren't as expensive as they are now, I need to put the other fruit, like that one. There we go. Even though Disney parks weren't as expensive as they are now, they were still pretty pricey, and so I couldn't indulge and go to amusement parks very often. And that's when I started playing games like Roller Coaster Tycoon, right? 1, 2, eventually 3, stuff like that. And it's not the same as going to an amusement park, but you can get 40-50% of the way there, right? You can immerse yourself in there, hear the people screaming on the rides, the laughter, the music. Sometimes when you really get deep, sometimes I swear I could smell some of the carnival or fair food. It's psychosomatic probably, but it is a pretty fair substitute if you can't be there. If you can't be there in person. So I'm gonna put the stone stuff here. Stone blocks, and I usually group them so that will be cobblestone. Deep slate will be next to it, but then also the different forms of stone. So I will put stone, and probably stone bricks in the same neighborhood. You'll see what I'm talking about later, because I'll probably get some more of that stuff. But it's kind of like what I've done with the trees, right? Is put the saplings down, put the logs right next to them. Keep it organized that way, especially since a lot of times the logs start to look kind of like each other. It's easier to tell with the sapling next to it. Anyway, I think it's time to go grab some people. I gotta do some flying. And flying means food. But before I do that, I have an advanced enchanting infuser. So I got a bunch of levels here. Let's see, make sure everything's all topped up. And it looks like my helmet's good to go. And I was looking to see, I thought maybe some of these hadn't been enchanted at all, but it looks like I'm in pretty good shape, actually. The leggings are fine. Oh, I think I have more thorns. That way the guys I'm fighting will get the point. Oh, so I haven't done hardly anything with the chest plate. That's an important one. I seem to have protection on the others, so more protection isn't going to get me anything. So let's go projectile protection, because skeletons are always popping caps at me. And thorns. Yeah. Vitality. Increases maximum health. Let's give that a shot. Sure. 2, 3. Okay. 3 levels. I still have a few points left over, actually. I guess we'll just put it on gift certificate. Do I have anything on the sword that I haven't added already? There's leech, but I'm not interested in that. No. Actually, it's looking like a... Well, how about this pick? I can make it more efficient, but then it gets ridiculously... Then it's crazy, right? You're blasting through stuff that you didn't mean to blast through, so... I think we're good. Still have 8 levels left. So, let's see. I think it's time to fly. Excuse me, can you get out of there? I can't drive the donkey away. So, let's see if I can pick this up. Dump everyone out. No, I can jump in there. That's not good enough. I don't want to take him with me. Can I just pick him up? Yes. Here, go over there. Can you pick them up? You go over there. Let me get... You did that on purpose, didn't you? You waited for me to move around you. Go over there. Get out of here before they jump back in. Okay, so we are going to go to Twin Spires, where we've established that there's a ring of cultists, but we don't know who's who. So we're not gonna punish the non-cultists because they have cultists among them. Of course, worst case scenario, they all are actually cultists, but I don't know that. I don't think that. So we'll go pick them up. You know what? I see that floating island up there, and I haven't been to it in this world, so let's go check that out before we start kidnapping people, and let's see what it is. Now these islands I am familiar with, though. They are here courtesy of Langley Transport. Apparently there's an in-flight snack. And usually they have a golem walking around up here and some treasure. More like there's some valuable blocks up here that you can't get or can't easily get elsewhere. So let's. Oh, there's the golem. Hopefully he doesn't get into my helio chopper. Puddle jumper. A nice mix of items. And what about this area down? Whoa, doggies. Doggies, that's a long fall. Let's block that up so I don't fall. Okay, cobblestone work. Just gotta reach down there. It's too far. Squat. Get a little closer and squat. There we go. Okay, now we can safely extract 2 blocks of diamonds. That's handy, and a bunch of amethyst. We can use that. And gotta climb up out of here. And then we can grab this. Oh, End stone. Okay, we'll grab that too. Don't need a ton of it. Stay out of that corner. Hopefully golem didn't get in the helo chat. Where is the golem? I can hear him clomping around. Okay. Okay, let's go for it. This is a nice view, by the way. Looking down upon the townspeople, the unsuspecting townspeople. Okay, let's find a place to land. It really is a beautiful little town. Not sure which of the mods created this. I think it's Lucky's Grain Capitals, but beautiful little generated town. Okay, so there's a guy, and see if I can grab him. Yep. Go over here, see if I can put him in this thing. Excellent. Excellent. And then if I can get a bed. And then this should work. So again, the point is, if I'm going to move these guys out of here, if I don't, in theory, for each villager in the village, there's a bed. And if I take the villager away, then the villagers amongst themselves will create new villagers. And until, every bed has a villager assigned to it. So the whole point of this exercise is to empty the village. So I'm going to have to grab a villager and a bed so that they don't replace them while I'm gone. Plus, I need a bed for them at the other location. So that's what we're doing here. It's a nice afternoon for flying. Look at that. Kind of pretty. I could see the glowing mushroom of the village we're headed for. Sorry, didn't mean to get crumbs on you there, pal. I make quite a mess eating these baked potatoes, let me tell you. Okay, I could see the big roof of the little dormitory we built. I think that'll make a great landing pad. Don't know how I'm going to get back up, but it'll make a great landing pad. No, too close to the edge. We're going to fall off when we get out. Let's turn this around. Yeah, you don't want to step out of your aircraft into space. Okay, let's drop this guy off somewhere. And let's go put his bed away so he has a place to stay. Let's start at this end. That's where I counted from before. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. So that's how I did. I have space to walk around the bed on every side. Okay, now I need to get back up on the roof. What's the best way to do that? I think a ladder on this end will do it. I meant to throw that potato. I'm just checking to see if anybody jumped out to grab it. Sure. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Okay. Get some oak wood. And with the oak, we can make some planks. With the planks, we can make oak ladders. Don't need a whole bunch. Should be more than enough. Okay, let's see. Can I put ladders on the side of mushrooms, obviously, but I can't put ladders on the side of partial blocks. So I'll need to put something down to put the ladder on. And can I build the ladder up from here? It implies I can, but I can't. So I will need to put down blocks to build the ladder against. So these oak planks will work. And now I can put the ladder on that. Now, can I make the ladder freestanding? Still can't put it in at the top. And I can't easily get off the ladder onto the roof. So let's, again, can I make it freestanding? It implies I can. But I can't. See if I can actually work this more toward the middle. I don't want to block a window. So let's move it over a little. And then we can put our ladders here. And then I can modify this. Take this out, replace it with the oak planks, and then put the ladder on that, and that should get me high enough to be able to get up and down. Right, so the oak planks, a ladder. Wouldn't let me put down another ladder, but that's okay. This works. Yep. Okay. So, lather, rinse, and repeat. This makes a great takeoff and landing spot. It's turning out to be a beautiful evening. When I see skies this color and I hear the word evening, it takes me back to the final encounter scene in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, right? Where they set up the station at the base of Devil's Tower in Wyoming, and that's where the aliens are going to rendezvous with them. And it had a sunset kind of like this when Oh, I don't forget. Roy is the name of the character. When Roy and the woman he's with, when they get to the base, it's sundown like it is here. I gotta tell you, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a Spielberg movie, so no surprise there. But it helped. When I was a little kid, I was freaked out by a lot of stuff, but I was freaked out by aliens, probably worst of all. And that movie, well, it helped freak me out a little bit, but it also helped me get over my alien freak out quite a bit. So, and that is, man, that is like the most 1970s movie ever. When I watch it now, I still like to watch it. In fact, I have kind of a tradition. I watch it during the hottest part of the summer, once a year, right? Just because that's what happens in the movie, and that's when the aliens come. But it's just like there's a Budweiser commercial, and it's like Days of Our Lives is on there, and the clothing and the houses. I mean, so his kids, he's got his oldest kid is probably the age I was, maybe a little bit older than me, when the movie came out in '77. And man, that movie is it matches life in those well, except for the aliens flying around. But yeah. That's one of the reasons I like it. I mean, I love the movie. I love the message behind the movie, and it makes me nostalgic. Because aliens, they come down in their spacecraft, and then they find someone they want to abduct, and then they grab them, and then they run back to their spacecraft. You kind of see where this is going, right? And it's hard to say what they were doing with them in the movie. Nothing harmful, and I'm not doing anything harmful either. I'm taking them and taking them to a better place. Well, a better place for now. This is not exactly what I was planning. I was actually wanting to have him sit in here, not on my lap. I mean, this will work. I guess. Okay, pal. Keep your hands on the dashboard where I can see them. Now, it's truly a beautiful evening, right? Look at that. Fly by our manor house, which looks nice. And our heated pool. Very heated pool. That reminds me, and this is just a public service announcement. If you go to the Yellowstone area, first of all, you have to understand that Yellowstone is what they call a super volcano. I mean, you've been to volcanoes like on Hawaii or whatever, and it's a volcano, and the caldera, the part the where the lava comes out the top, they're maybe several hundred feet, maybe a mile across. But you have to understand that Yellowstone, pretty much all of National Park is a caldera. That's why it's called the super volcano. And when that puppy blows, it's going to take over, half the United States. But my point in all that is it's not in any danger of blowing up now. But that's why you have all those geysers and hot springs and stuff there. Uh-oh, I hear somebody clearing their throat. That's not good. And I'm holding this guy. Here, get in the house. I got you covered. Oh, he must be over here. There he is. And there he goes. Nothing to see here, fellas. Sorry, didn't mean to take your job. Anyway, I was talking about... What was I talking about? Oh, shoot. I don't know. abducting people. Oh, volcanoes. Yeah, so public service announcement. You know, at Yellowstone, they have these basically thermal pools, right? Mud pots, stuff like that. And what people don't understand is that that water's hot. I mean, in some cases, it's comfortably hot. It's like a warm bath or a little warmer. So, you know, there are pools you technically could go into, but they're usually roped off and nobody's technically allowed into them, right? So, but there are pools that could be quite comfortable. But the vast majority of them are crazy hot, like burn you hot, like ridiculously hot. There are, you know, because I used to live up in that area, and so every summer we would start getting stories of the people who are having accidents because they're not paying attention to the signs, right? Some of those pools are hotter than boiling even. And I know that sounds impossible, but it's true. Like there was one guy's dog who ran off and jumped into one of these pools, started yelping. The guy jumped in after the dog to save the dog. The dog died in a few hours. The guy made it maybe the better part of a day before he finally succumbed. I mean, you know, and you jump into that type of water, it's basically going to boil you alive. And if you get any of it in you, it's going to boil you on the inside too. So when you go to Yellowstone and they have signs telling you, you know, stay on the trail and all that, yeah, do that. The other thing, staying on the trail is important because some, you know, the heat, the hot water and stuff's all underground. And in some cases, it's not far underground at all, right? There's like an inch or two of soil. And if you're walking on that inch or two of soil, unlike Minecraft, where you can walk on a block of soil and it won't collapse, in real life it will collapse and you'll fall into, you know, whatever's down there, and you're toast. Well, you're boiled, so you wouldn't be toasted, you'd be boiled, but it's not cool. And then by extension, buffalo, bears, antelope, caribou, the elk, they're not. They look like they're in a zoo. They look all peaceful and pretty and stuff. They're wild animals. And to you, worst case scenario, they might consider you a threat. And so they will go into full defensive mode. And when you talk about an animal that outweighs you by 10 to 1 or more, well, you're out of your weight class, literally. So you're not going to like that. Oh yeah, it's 2x2. So, and even if they don't feel threatened by you, if they feel bothered by you, well, that's potentially even worse. Because then they'll knock you down and try to keep you down. So, you want to take a selfie with a buffalo, find one in a museum, or have that buffalo way behind you in the background. Speaking of bears, you know, we had, where I live, you know, we're on the outskirts of the greater Seattle metropolitan area. And while my neighborhood and my town isn't really rural per se, there is a lot of green space around us. And the green space extends all the way up into the Cascade. So it's not unusual for us to have wildlife sightings in our neighborhoods. Bears, cougars, stuff like that. Case in point, the whole time we've lived here, we did have a bear sighting that was in the complex behind us, but we haven't had a bear sighting in our complex. We do have a bobcat that lives somewhere in here, so he's walking through our area pretty frequently. But all that being said, was about last month. There's a big pile of bear poop out in the middle of the drive in front of our townhouse. So, like I said, nobody spotted that one, but I got a lot closer to that than I wanted to, but then started doing visual searches on the web and descriptions, and yeah, that wasn't dog poop. And if it was coyote poop, it was one big coyote. At that point, it's not really a coyote anymore. But I don't think it was a big coyote. I think it was a mid-sized bear that did his business out in the middle of the road before pressing on. So that's something we worry about. I remember one summer, my girls used to go to summer day camp at the school, right? The school had basically a day camp where you could pay money and park your kids there, and they take care of your kids. Plus, they give them projects and let them run around and stuff. So it was great, low-cost daycare that's run by the school district. And I'll put the stone right here. See, so I got the cobblestone, I got the stone, then I'll put stone bricks there. One-stop shopping. In fact, I think I might, we'll think. And one time while they were there, I'm going to take this dirt and I'm going to basically fill this up, right? So that the building's not exposed. This is going to be the yard where the windmill and the livestock will be. So let's set that up. Anyhow, they were at this day camp run by the school, and yeah, they had a mama bear and 2 baby bears come. So they went into a lockdown, and my kids were stuck in there for a few hours until the mama bear and the kids wandered off someplace else. So that one even made the news. That was interesting. So and my wife was not panicking, but she was kind of freaking out. Nobody likes to see or hear that their kid is trapped inside a building with bears outside it, but it's not like the bears were after him or anything. They were just strolling through the neighborhood. I've done the same thing many times myself, right? Usually though, people don't lock the doors and hide when I come around. They do lock the doors and hide, but at least my girls do when my wife is on the rampage. Well, for that matter, I kind of disappear down here into the basement. So, yeah. There's I saw the sign at this person's house. It's like, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Yeah, that's the way it is at our house. Happy spouse, happy house. So we just want to take out, take out the grass, but we want to just, first of all, cover up the basement area so you can't see it. And then we don't want these little cliff-like drop-offs. We want to nice gradual slopes. Now, at some point, I will expand this area up here, be bigger, because like I said, right now I need to just kind of cover up the basement area, but and that'll give us room for a windmill, but I want to put livestock pens up here, and that's going to require more space. And if I'm kicking off anybody's hay fever with all this weed whacking and grass mowing, I'm sorry. Go take a nice cool shower. Help with the inflammation. Yes, sirree, Bob. 'Tis the season. We don't have a lawn, so I don't have to mow it. That's great, because I'm allergic to grass, among my other allergies. So, yeah, if I roll around in the grass, I get all itchy and it's bad. I'm pretty miserable. I used to have, it used to make me sneeze and stuff. But, you know, I got medicine that keeps that at bay, so, on a continuous basis. So, because let me tell you, as a kid, I was destined to be the kid in the bubble, right? I mean, just everything set me off. Third grade, it got so bad it kicked off a bronchitis attack that landed me in the hospital. That was rough. Skinny, sickly kid. Not skinny anymore. I don't want to be that skinny, but man, I could definitely use a little bit of the time on the treadmill. Actually, I don't like walking on the treadmill. Same reason I don't like running. It is incredibly boring. I used to be on the track team. Used to be in distance track and cross country, and you know, we'd run 10 miles, and I could do it. I could do it well, but man, it was just mind-bogglingly dull. So nowadays, I go for my walks, and the walks are perfect because I got my Bluetooth headset. I'll pop that in. I sometimes watch videos. Most of the time, I'm listening to videos, right? A lot of YouTube or audiobooks. It's another big plus. Or music. That always works too. And if you're like me, it'd be maybe hard to imagine a world where we didn't have our media readily available to us pretty much all the time. I mean, it's not that hard to imagine. If you go on a camping trip, you're living it. But, and I don't mind it. You know, this is kind of, it's like when we got smartphones. I thought smartphones were a cool idea, but for me, there was nothing a smartphone gave me that I couldn't live without, right? I mean, it made a lot of stuff easier, faster, and more convenient, but there was nothing I could do with a smartphone that I couldn't do without it. And when we got our smartphones, what surprised me, because my wife was notoriously cheap. She didn't want us to get new phones and stuff, but for some reason she had it in her head that we wanted smartphones. And I was like, okay, but then she's trying to sell me on the idea. I said, well, I already said okay, but she's trying to sell me on how great it'll be to have a smartphone. Okay, yeah, I get it. It'll be great, but you know, well, we got the smartphones, and I was on my smartphone all the time because, you know, now I could like surf the web and stuff. And she goes, see, you how much you want smartphones? I said, well, I knew I'd enjoy it. It's just that I didn't ever think that we absolutely needed to have it, right? So, anyway. And now, I'm still like that. I mean, I love my phone. There's a great deal I do with my phone that, you know, makes me really happy. And so it's all cool. But that being said, if I lost my phone, if the phones got taken away, if they stopped working, I'd be okay. I'd be a little bummed. My family, though, they'd be lost. My wife and girls, they would probably melt. They would cease to exist. I'm trying to figure out the best place to put the windmill and making sure I have enough space, because it's got to line up with the basement area below, but the windmill has a certain size, so it can't bump into the side of the building. I think I'd do this a little different. I think what I'll do is I'll go into the basement and pop a hole in the ceiling and then see where it is from the surface, and that should give me a totally accurate view of where it goes. So I kind of need to move away from the main house. And so let's give it a little extra space. If I put the shaft from the windmill down here, I don't want me or anybody else, including bad guys, to fall through and be in my house. As a general rule of thumb, I'm not a big fan of sharing space with zombies or creepers. Not that I've ever shared space with a zombie, but you can just imagine, the breath, the smell. I think that'll do it. In fact, it might be too much space. I might be able to move it over one. 1, 2, and then, yes, I can move it over one. Like so. Oh, I gotta go get that one. Okay, that's where the windmill will be built. And it gives me enough space that it won't be rubbing on the side of the house. Because there's nothing worse than trying to sleep at night with a windmill rubbing the side of the house. And I think that's probably enough for today. I mean, it's not particularly glorious stuff, but yeah, it's a pretty good run. So I think let's grab all this wood because we have a place for it now and put it away. Slowly but surely this place is starting to get more and more organized. So the dirt's already, the logs are already in place. So we can throw it in here. It'll go to where it needs to go. And there you go. This goes on the level below. And like I said, let's grab this deep slate and put it down there next to the cobblestone, and we'll set it up the same way. So this is deep slate cobble. We'll put it next to regular cobble, and then later we'll get deep slate, not deep slate cobble, and we'll put it below the deep slate cobble just like we did with the stone. There is a method to my madness. And I think I want to grab the dirt and move that too. Like so. This way we can just, dump this stuff into our drop-off cabinet, and it just goes where it needs to go. Without any further intervention from me. So I'm going to put the soils, dirt, gravel, sand, stuff like that, over here opposite the stones. Not Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, but... And I think that's probably enough. Let me see if there's any really quick little item I can think of that we should add. Nah. So, this is the upstairs. We'll be finishing this up, but that's not this episode. That's future episodes. In the meanwhile, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you enjoy the progress we made. And if you got questions, by all means, place them place a comment in there. If you want to give me any type of feedback, place a comment there. And I hope to see you here next time. But in the meanwhile, I hope this finds you and yours in good health, good spirits, and perhaps a touch of good fortune. Cheers.